It's Conference Championship Weekend edition of Hicks 5-Minute Picks. So I looked at the regular season numbers here. Against the spread, we went on the show 36-36. Not great, but you know what that means, though? I'm saving my best picks for the postseason, baby. That's when it matters. Let's give you a big weekend of picks. Let's start in the Mountain West. Win and in. Number 20, UNLV, taking on number 10, Boise State Broncos at home on the blue turf. 4-point favorites. This is a rematch. Let's go back to earlier in the season. UNLV did a really good job at slowing down Ashton Jeanty. Held him to just 128 yards on the ground, which is somehow only his second lowest total this season. Still a pretty big number. But the area where UNLV really dominated, Jeanty that is efficiency. They held him to just 3.9 yards per carry, by far his lowest output of the season. Can UNLV repeat that performance on the turf Friday night? I don't think so. Boise State wins because Ashton Jeanty throws a team on his back. Give me 183, 2 TDs for Jeanty on the turf, carries Boise State to the playoff, and cements his Heisman Trophy win. Give me Boise State 31-20. They win. They cover the spread. They're going to the playoff. Let's go to the Big 12. Win and in. Number 16, Iowa State taking on number 15, Arizona State. Sun Devils, 2-point favorites. This has been a miracle run right now by the Sun Devils to get to this point. And I don't think the run's stopping. They win and they are punching their ticket to the college football playoff. Here is why Arizona State wins. I think they control this game on the ground. Their rushing attack is really good, led by Cam Scadaboo, who is 2 yards shy of 1,400 on the season. He is really damn good. And you look on the other side of the ball for the Cyclones, what's their biggest weakness on defense? Stopping the run. 96th in the country in terms of rush defense. I think Arizona State's able to get something on the ground going, which all of a sudden opens up balance. Sam Levitt is a really efficient quarterback for Arizona State, and I think Kenny Dillingham continues to ride this magic carpet ride all the way to the playoff. Give me Arizona State 28-20, the Devils. The Devils are going to the CFP. Let's go to the SEC, where we have another rematch. Number 2, Texas, 2.5-point favorites taking on number 5, Georgia. Let's revisit that first matchup back in October in Austin. Look at what this Georgia defense did. They forced Texas to commit 4 turnovers offensively. They caused 2 quarterback changes, allowed on 27 carries, 29 rushing yards. That's it. And held them to just 15 points. That Georgia defense dominated. The problem, though, for UGA, since that game, look at what their defense has done. They've allowed on average 26 points per game, including 21 to UMass. They've also, in the last 2 games, have allowed over 200 rushing yards in each game, again, including to the Minutemen. That Georgia defense we saw in Austin has not been the same since. I don't think we're seeing them revert back to that elite defense we saw. I think Texas is going to score, and they'll ask you this. Do you trust Carson Beck in a high-scoring game to keep up? I certainly do not. Give me Texas. They win the first year in the SEC. They get the crown. 27-20. Horns, hook 'em. They're SEC champs. All right, let's go to the ACC. Number 17, Clemson, trying to steal a bid here with a win. Take on number 8, SMU. Ponies, 2.5-point favorites. Before I give you a pick on the game, we got to change Clemson's mascot because they're called the Tigers. But we need to change it to something more accurate to describe who they really are. So I vouch right now to change Clemson's name to the Clemson Paper Tigers. Because anytime they play a good team, boy, do they fold and crumble. They are frauds this year. That shows again in Charlotte in the ACC title game. Clemson this year against Power 4 bowl-eligible teams, just 1-3 so far this season. And in their 5 biggest games, their offense has averaged just 17 points per game. They can beat some of the worst teams in the ACC, no problem. When it comes to playing good teams, they do not look good. SMU, guess what they are? A really damn good team. They're balanced on offense. Kevin Jennings, their quarterback, is a really good threat. SMU wins. First year in the conference. Give me the Ponies. 24-14. They beat Clemson. They cover the spread. And they send Dabo Swinney, I don't know, to the Pinstripe Bowl, to the Pop-Tart Bowl. Enjoy it, Dabo. And finally, let's go to the Big Ten. Number 1, Oregon. 3.5-point favorites taking on number 3, Penn State. Oregon is the best team in the country, and I think they show it on Saturday. They win. They cover the spread, in part because I can't find a weakness with this Ducks team. Dylan Gabriel is surgical in the pocket. The Ducks also can run the ball at the best of them. They're second in the Big Ten in terms of conference play in rushing yards per game at 177. They have elite speed on the outside. Tez Johnson, Trayshawn Holden, Evan Stewart. Their defense is sixth in the country with 39 sacks. They are top 25 in rushing defense, passing defense. They're top 20 in scoring offense, scoring defense. Look around. Where is the weakness? I can't find one. I think they go into the Big Ten title game. They roll over Penn State 31-21. Penn State's a good team, by the way. It's not to me an indictment about Penn State. This is just how good Oregon is. They win by 10. They're Big Ten champs. And by the way, you see a trend here? All Power 4 conference champions. SMU in the ACC, Texas in the SEC, Oregon, Big Ten, Arizona State, Big 12. Newbies. We all remember our first, right? Well, for those 4 teams, they'll remember their first as well.